Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to get good at the piano. This is a topic that probably a lot of you have asked if you are starting to learn, or no matter where you are at the journey. Sometimes you might be frustrated with where you are. Here's a few ways I think you can kind of get over the hump. So I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to get good or get better at the piano, or you can even apply this to whatever instrument you're working on. So step number 1. So I think the first thing that you need to do is have a vision of where you want to go. What kind of piano player do you want to be? Do you just want to be a piano player who plays a couple songs at Christmas time, a couple Christmas carols for the family? Do you want to play for a local band or at your church? Do you want to just play for your own entertainment and just kind of have a time where you just sit down at the piano and play a couple songs for your own enjoyment? Or do you want to play professionally? There's a lot of options. And you kind of just have to decide what one of those categories suits you. You know, you might have a full-time job that you love, and you just want to kind of play a few songs and impress a few people at dinner parties or something. And that's fine. I mean, no matter what you want to do, you just kind of have to decide where you want to go with this. And it's never too late to start, no matter where you are. If you're just starting out, no matter how old you are. I know musicians who started out a little bit later and they can still play really well after a few years of practice and training. You can achieve whatever goal you have if you put your mind to it. Number 2, this is something I always encourage, is get a piano teacher. I counted up the other day, I've had 8 teachers since I started playing at 10 years old. And that's quite a bit, and some people might think that's overkill. But what I've noticed is that every teacher has a different personality and a different thing that they bring to the table. And I've been able to learn from each of them to help me develop my skills. And what I've noticed is each of them focuses on a slightly different thing, and it's helped to make me more well-rounded. Like, I used to hate reading sheet music, and then I had a teacher that really focused on it and pushed me over the edge in that area. No matter what level you're at, having a teacher can be super valuable. I have ran into those musicians who have bragged about how they're self-taught as if it was some kind of badge of honor. But most of those musicians have really severe limitations, and after playing with them for a little while, you can kind of tell that they're self-taught. And nothing to disparage that. And I mean, there is a time to teach yourself. I mean, I've taught myself certain things. And the goal is, once you can play by ear, is to eventually kind of teach yourself along the way. You don't have to have a teacher teach you every single thing. But what I can say is that 99% of the top piano players and keyboardists in the world have had a teacher of some kind along the way. They didn't just get there by themselves. They had some kind of a teacher. And so there's no shame in having a teacher. Get a good piano teacher. Before we move on to the third point, why don't you stop and give this a like if you are enjoying this video, and you can feel free to subscribe as well if you are a piano player or even just a musician who's wanting tips on how to keep improving along this journey of music. It would be a huge help, and I would very much appreciate it. Okay, number 3, get a good mentor / get around other musicians who are better than you. On top of having good teachers, when I was growing up, I had about 3 or 4 excellent piano players around. They were at my church who I was able to learn from, sometimes just by listening to them play. If you can develop an ear for music, then listening to others can be an excellent way of learning. Also, just being able to ask them questions maybe after the church service or wherever you are. If you're at another show with local musicians, just being able to ask them, hey, how did that chord progression go at the end of that song that you did? I've never played it like that before. Why don't you show me that? And sometimes it can take 30 seconds, but just having that continual feedback in your life is huge for your musical development, for your ear, for your musical skills. Surround yourself with people who are better than you. They're kind of already where you want to go to, or at least a higher level than where you are right now. And I was fortunate enough to have some great mentors in my life where I could just ask them a question at any given point. And even when I went to college was an amazing opportunity as well, because once I was there, I had many other musicians and teachers who were better than me. And just surrounding yourself with excellence is huge. And it's exciting to be in an environment where everybody's learning and everyone's growing together, and you kind of push each other to excellence. That's a really great place to be. The fourth thing I would say, if you're trying to get better, you're trying to get good at your instrument, is get around peers your age who also want to play, and maybe they have another instrument that they know, and you can put it together and make a band, or just play for some events. Maybe it's your high school talent show, whatever it is, church. Play, just get together and play with them, jam, whatever you need to do. You can push yourself, you can push each other. Ever since I started playing Literally, ever since I started playing at like 10 or 11 or 12 years old, I was in some kind of band. And this is huge since it's tough to get gigs when you're first starting out, you know? I mean, who's going to hire someone who just learned one song, right? Not very many people. But if you can get a group of friends who are able to share your passion, you can push each other to levels you wouldn't have reached on your own. This allowed me to eventually start playing in youth services, then youth conventions and youth camps, and at a fairly young age as well. Eventually with this band, I was able to also, win some talent contests and travel, opening up for bands in our local area and up into Canada and even sometimes across the country, just by getting with some other like-minded musicians who pushed me, and I was able to push them. Iron sharpens iron, so get around people your own age, because you don't have to pay them, for one thing. If you're just starting out, you're all in it together. You are trying to make something happen, whereas later on, when you're all adults, everyone's looking to get paid, right? So if you can start young, you're able to push each other and grow together. That's an awesome thing. The fifth tip I'd like to give is watch YouTube. YouTube is an amazing resource for any skill that you're trying to learn, really. It's a huge way to learn new material. I remember the first time I stumbled across a tutorial from Sean Martin, who plays for Kirk Franklin and now Snarky Puppy. And he had a tutorial on there that blew my mind. And I've never gotten the chance to meet Sean Martin yet. And, I would never been able to sit down and learn a song from him, but because of YouTube, he was able to, show me some stuff just by watching him that I never would have been able to figure out on my own. And, YouTube has been a huge resource for me. And this is why I enjoy also kind of giving back and putting some tutorials up on YouTube as well. This can be you can learn almost any song that you want to on YouTube, which is amazing. Now, the caveat is you can't let YouTube be the only way you learn. And I don't think it's a substitute for a teacher. Honestly, for me, accountability is like 50% of what I have gained from my teachers over the years. Just having that person I have to come back to week after week, and it's a little embarrassing if I come and I'm not prepared with what we worked on the week before. So having that accountability in your life is huge. And as you can see, all of these things that I've talked about today really involve community. There's something beautiful when we play music. It's not just a solo thing. It's a thing where we can play it with other people. You have the artists, you have the other musicians, you have the audience, and it's a wonderful thing. And it's a very rare person who doesn't at least enjoy listening to music. So music is a very communal event. So don't try to do this on your own. Surround yourself, get yourself a teacher, get yourself some mentors, get yourself a vision of where you want to go, and get you some peers who are also like-minded, who want to go to the same place you want to go to. And that can be a great way to increase your level and push yourself to the next level. Now, with that in mind, I actually teach piano lessons online and in person. So if you're not in my local area, I actually have an opportunity through Zoom to teach online piano lessons. And this is actually a fairly good setup. I use the same setup that I use for YouTube. So you can see my hands, you can see the MIDI notes above the blue notes, and you can also see my face. So basically, I have the same setup on YouTube as I do for my online Zoom lessons. So if you're interested in taking your skills to the next level, feel free to click that link below, and I look forward to meeting some more of you. I've already done some lessons through my YouTube channel, and I've been able to do some Zoom lessons with some of you, and it's been great to get to kind of help everyone grow no matter where you're located. So I look forward to seeing your skills go to the next level. No matter where you are, continue to push yourself to get to that next level on your instrument. I know you can do it. If you like this video, you might want to check out this video next. Thanks for watching.